What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, August 15th, day number 31 inside the Big Brother house. It's eviction day. Everything has changed with one piece of information. I still do not know who will leave tonight. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Speaking of streams, it is eviction night. We will be live here on the channel for the live eviction, so you're not going to want to miss that, as well as live tomorrow morning for the update, talking about everything that happened, who won HOH, and all that good stuff as well. We did have the veto episode last night, but if you haven't been keeping up with everything going on, if you're just kind of tuning in, Angela won HOH. Quinn used his power. Everybody kind of knew this was happening. So HOH was just kind of safety for the week. Tucker, MJ, and Cedric were his initial nominees. It was all done through the Angela AI. His target was Tucker, but he wins the power of veto, takes himself down, and Rubina goes up as the replacement nominee. We saw a lot of that in the episode last night, along with the collective meeting that took place, I believe, on Chelsea's HOH week. Plus some seeds that Cedric could go over Rubina in that situation. The comp I thought was really cool. It was almost like the Squid Games glass bridge where you had to choose which path to go on. Pretty sure if they've done something similar to this in years past, but still always cool to see a nice competition that we haven't had in a while. Also, this is kind of a thing too as well. I know everybody's, really excited that, oh, the comps are more equitable, right? We still have Tucker winning them all. And this is why I always kind of said when that was being discussed, it's like, yes, is it great if all of the competitions are more easily won by anyone? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it really is all about the competitors that you put in that house. There will always be someone who's on a different level when it comes to these competitions, no matter what they are. And we've seen now Tucker is just at a completely different level. And you're always going to have people throwing competitions, and it just makes things way less easy to prepare for this and not have someone just kind of run the table with a lot of competition wins. Again, is it better than anybody can win it? Sure, but we're still kind of in the same place where Tucker is just a comp beast winning everything he can. And I get the idea. It's like, you know what? Maybe when Jag was winning a lot of competitions. A lot of those, always had like some running involved with them as well as memory and stuff like that, which I get, right? And that's why it's like, it's always nice that anyone can win. But really, is anything any different, right? Is it anything really any different with Tucker now running these competitions? There's stuff with mental involved. There's stuff that's physical involved, and he's winning them all. It doesn't matter what it is. So even though we're getting some more equitable comps, we're still kind of in the same place. Other than that, though, the episode was all right. Nothing that we didn't really know beforehand going in. Feeds, though, there's a lot to kind of talk about here. So one note that I wanted to say is I saw so many people talking about how Chemo blew up the Pentagon last night. Don't put me on a list for that. It sounds weird. Don't put me on a list. I think they even have to rename the alliance because of that. They were talking about it. I don't think they can call it the Pentagon anymore. But I saw a lot of people saying like, "Oh, he blew it up, right? He let Tucker know." Not exactly. All he did was suggest to Tucker that, hey, I think that group is probably a thing, which isn't any different than any other speculation that has in the house. He didn't confirm it. He didn't give a name. He didn't give nothing. And he knows all that, right? He knows the name of the alliance. He could have told Tucker this information, but he didn't. But you know who did drop a really big bomb yesterday? Angela. Angela told Tucker, she's like, hey, do you know about that fake collective alliance? Now remember, folks, if you haven't been paying attention or you just forgot, because I'm sure a lot of people did, the collective was originally made for Angela on her HOH week. They all kind of were like, yeah, let's create a group for Angela, right? Let's bring it to her. Only for her to think it was fake, flip out, and then have that big blow up with Matt in the morning. So she knew about all of the members. She knows about the name. She just, I don't 100% knew it was still going, right? She thought it was fake. So now Tucker knows the name collective, but didn't find out from any of the current members. This could be a thing, and I don't know how he's going to use that information. Should he stay? It's Tucker. I'm sure he'll throw it out there at some point in a conversation, and everybody's going to go, "Oh, wait a minute, hold on." Plus, with the way the vote might turn out here, we could be getting some interesting stuff. Another funny little thing from Angela before we get into the nitty gritty of where the votes are and all that kind of conversation. She started telling a story yesterday about a time that she had the cops called on her. And she said it was at an IHOP. Now, listen, I don't think that you're supposed to do that at an IHOP. If you want to have that kind of a rumble, you go to a Waffle House. The International House of Pancakes, they don't play around with stuff like that. If you want to get a little crazy, you go to the Waffle House. Waffle people are much different than pancake people, and I don't think you should be messing around with each. Now, that's not to say that I haven't been at some sketchy IHOPs either, but I feel like if you're going to do that, you go to the Waffle House, right? They're known for that. IHOP, they're just trying to serve some pancakes. Don't be getting crazy in there, Angela. Don't. There's no need for that. But let's move into the good stuff, right? So we had a visionaries meeting actually fairly early in the day with the core chemo and Quinn. Once again, they're trying to push on Quinn like, hey, let's work with Tucker, but he just shuts it down. And most of the conversation ended up just trying to go towards like, all right, well, what are we going to do this week, right? Like the core's like, hey, we need to coordinate the votes with the collective. But that is such a weird statement. And how do you think the rest of the collective are going to feel that you need to come and coordinate the vote, especially if it's Rubina versus Cedric? What would there need to be to coordinate unless you're two-timing them? There's literally no reason to do it. One of your people's on the block, you vote to keep them, right? Like I don't see like how they even think that's a good idea to suggest to the rest of the group without putting suspicion on themselves that they're not fully invested, but it is what it is. Now, a big game changer here, a very big game changer that we were going into this week not 100% sure about because there was lots of confusion with Quinn's HOH power. Even with the house guests, a lot of times some of them thought he wasn't going to be renomming, whether or not he was playing in veto. We saw that kind of on the episode last night too as well. And also whether or not he votes and what happens in the event of a tie. We've gotten confirmation. It does not seem that Quinn is voting this week. So that changes everything. Quinn said he went to the diary room. He got confirmation on that, and he does not vote. We were kind of assuming that it could end up being a tie in some situation, right? We were thinking, hey, it could end up even being like a 5-5 tie in this situation where Angela has to break that tie. If we bring up our allegiance chart here, you can kind of see where, hey, if Cedric's on the block, you got Chelsea, Joseph, Cam, Brooklyn, Quinn, if he had a vote, all voting for Cedric to stay. Meanwhile, on the other side with Rubina, if it ends up being MJ on the block, MJ goes. I think we can fully say with confidence, if MJ loses the AI arena tonight, she's gone. Whether she's up against Rubina or she's up against Cedric, MJ will leave the house. If it's Rubina versus Cedric, though, Rubina would have Leah, MJ, Tucker, and then we were thinking maybe Angela would break the tie in a situation if Chemo and Decor decided to go over and vote there, because then that would be a 5-5 scenario. Angela being the actual HOH would break the tie. There were even people suggesting that maybe Quinn would break the tie, which would totally be ridiculous. If he got a vote and got to break the tie, that would be the most OP crazy power that we've ever seen in Big Brother. And I just don't see how you could give him the option to do nominations, renom, and then potentially 2 votes in the event of a tie. So what we're looking at now, though, without Quinn, it could be a straight up 5-4 vote and Cedric to leave over Rubina. We could be in for a true split house blindside situation right here. And I honestly, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. Like I said, if it's MJ, MJ's gone. If MJ loses the arena, she's gone. If she wins, Rubina versus Cedric, Brooklyn, Cam, Chelsea. They are locked for Cedric. Leah, MJ, Tucker seem locked for Rubina. Joe? Good old Joseph? He's talked about how he doesn't trust Quinn. He's talked about, hey, maybe it might be time to flip on the Triple C. But for this entire time with the collective, he's been the most, strong flag carrying member of the collective. He's been the one trying to push this from the start. And I know we kind of joked how he was like, I'm the star, I'm the leader of an alliance. In a way, it wouldn't be an alliance if Joe wasn't pushing for it as hard as it was. He does have that right. But does he stick with it? He's been debating it, right? And he's having pretty good conversations with MJ. I don't think in a scenario where MJ is an option, he doesn't vote for her, but he's been getting close with her over the past few days. Could Joseph vote to keep Rubina? It's a possibility. Tikor and Chemo, I don't know. They talked it over a lot, but I was never able to get a clear answer from them. They ended up going to bed before they had a decision, despite them saying, hey, we need to figure out what we're doing tonight because we have limited time tomorrow. I never saw an actual final decision. You know what they kind of remind me of? If anybody's ever watched the show A Good Place, they remind me of Chidi. Chidi had this issue where he just couldn't make a decision, no matter what it was. You ask him, hey, what kind of milkshake do you want? Vanilla or chocolate? Oh, vanilla's so good. It's creamy and it's delicious. But chocolate, it's got that sweetness in there and it's all so good. But vanilla, oh, vanilla. What about strawberry? Oh, strawberry. And that's the type of players they are in this game where they're like, man, we could get rid of Cedric and turn on the collective because they don't like they don't, respect what we want in this game. Or we could stick with Rubina, who we really don't want to see go. And I don't want to see either of them go. Who do we want to see go less? And they just cannot make a decision. And it's just like, oh, what really gets me though is they have this idea that they're on the bottom of the collective. I actually never thought that. The entire time when the collective was a thing, I always saw them as the swing votes in the collective, right? You had Quinn kind of on one side, you had Chelsea, Cedric, and Cam kind of on the other, Brooklyn, Joseph, Chemo, and Tikor all kind of in the middle there for eventually what would be the next phase of the game after everybody else was gone. It was just the collective. And I figured Chemo, Tikor, they would go with Quinn. They would try and pull Joseph or Brooklyn on over to their side to go against Cam, Cedric, and Chelsea. And it kind of seemed like that would be where things would go. But they kind of saw themselves at the bottom, and they don't think that the collective sees them as anything more than numbers and doesn't respect what they want in the game. What exactly do you want in the game, Chemo and Tikor? What is it? Was it to get Leah up on the block instead of Rubina? Because you never pushed that hard enough. And if you would have pushed that hard enough, you could have got Quinn to put Leah up on the block and you wouldn't be in this situation that you're in right now. So what is it? What is it that you think they don't respect in you? What is it that you think that they're just numbers? It's literally just your paranoia and not trusting in your alliance, which, don't get me wrong, it happens. It happens. But it feels just so irritating to watch them go back and forth and not be able to make a decision on what to do. It's crazy too, because I feel like, again, if they would have pushed that Leah decision, everyone would have been down. Chelsea and Cedric, they very much worry about that connection that Cam and Leah has. Then there was even actually a Cam and Leah little bit of argument today. So like they've been drifting apart as well. So you could have gotten people on board. The only one you had to convince was Quinn, who they then had a conversation today about how, yeah, everybody's thinking that you're in love with Leah. And he's like, yeah, that's just how I flirt. Like, it's not like I'm actually in love with her. He has said at some points, I would throw my game away for her. But again, I don't think he actually meant that. I think it was just things he was saying, right? I don't know. It's really interesting what's happening here. And then if it's not the Leah Rubina decision, if that's not what they're thinking and what they're saying that, oh, the collective doesn't want to, consider our wants. What's your other one? Is it that Rubina should stay over Cedric? Because if that's your want and you're thinking that the collective don't care about your want, what about Cedric? He's in the alliance. You can't just be like, yeah, we want to vote him out because it's what we want. The rest of the collective should go along with that when that's part of your alliance. Listen, I want them to keep Rubina tonight. If they vote for Cedric to leave the game, it will be amazing. Just pure chaos, a full-on split house, probably a blindside situation because I don't see them telling anybody that they're doing this before it actually happens. But man, I just don't think they got the guts to do it. Despite what they're saying that they don't want to play scared, I think they're going to end up playing scared. They're going to go with the numbers. They're going to vote out Rubina, and they're going to stick with the collective and try and work it out from there. Maybe they can try and grab Joseph more because, again, like we said, he's not really trusting Quinn anyway. Maybe they can try and do that. They've been trying with Brooklyn. Brooklyn is in such a great spot. Let me just real quick before we wrap things up here, because I don't got much else to talk about. But let me just tell you how good of a spot Brooklyn is in. I feel like almost everyone in the house thinks she's either their number one, their number two, at the very worst, their number three in the game. She's tight with Chelsea. She's tight with Quinn. She's doesn't got that great of a relationship with Joseph. Joseph's probably the one weak spot in her game. She's gotten in with Cam and Cedric, where at the very least they would see her probably as like their number three, with Chelsea and Cam, being Cedric's 1 and 2. For Cam, Chelsea and Cedric, the 1 and 2. Brooklyn would be probably his 3 in that scenario. Kimo and Takor, they see her probably as their number 2 in a lot of situations. Rubina also looks at Brooklyn probably as her number 2. Ishi's got a pretty good relationship with the other girls like MJ and Leah, whoever ends up staying there. There was a bit of a thing with Angela, but I mean, look, everybody's got issues with Angela, and there's bigger targets for Angela in this situation. Tucker, she's also got a bit of a thing going there, but Tucker doesn't trust her that much in the group that she has going, and especially if she votes here, to vote Rubina out over Cedric, that could be a thing. But overall, I think Brooklyn is in a huge power position in this game with lots of people who all think of her as a close ally, way more than they think of her as a target. I'd say her 3 biggest weaknesses in the game right now, Joseph, Tucker, and Angela, but each of those are kind of insulated by other things that are happening inside the house that would keep her out of the target. So honestly, if I almost feel like I should push Brooklyn towards the top above Chelsea even, as far as social credit goes, because she is crushing it. But I think I'll keep Chelsea and her kind of on a similar path because Chelsea's in a similar spot. She just doesn't have as good of connections on the other side of the house at the moment. But that pretty much covers it. We will have what I think could be another wild episode, especially if MJ wins that AI arena. We could be in for something really special here. And even if she doesn't win that, I think we're looking at a very interesting house going forward, depending who wins HOH next. There's lots of talk that it could be an endurance comp. We don't know. So we'll kind of keep an eye and an ear out for that. We also don't know about the twist, the AI instigator. That will be told us more information on tonight's episode as well. So we'll find out about that. This is going to be a good one, I think, tonight. We have been having just an amazing first start of this game. I thought BB25 had a great preseason, pre-jury start of the game. BB26 might be better. BB26 might be a even better pre-jury start to the game, and I'm absolutely loving this season so far. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Smash that like button. We're also going to be streaming tonight for the live eviction, so you're going to want to come out for that. We'll also be live tomorrow morning for the Friday morning update. We go live every single Thursday night and Friday morning for the updates, and every single day you will get a live feed update during the season. Thank you guys all again so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Check out the links to my description, links to my socials in the description, pinned comment down below, things like Twitch and Kick, which I know have been quiet, but I hope to get those kind of more active sooner than later. Twitch, Twitter, and Discord, great place to keep track of everything going on with the latest updates and stuff like that. You can keep track of all that. Plus, Discord's a great place to kind of chat with all kinds of people, not just about Big Brother, but other things you might like. We're going to be starting up the Fantasy Football League in there. I got to get that started this week because we're running out of time. There's only a few days left for football season. I even had somebody email me about wanting to join too. So if you want to get in on that, best place is going to be the Discord to kind of keep track of all that going on. But if you want to get in on that, let me know as well. Thank you guys again all so much for watching, and I will see you tonight.
You know, I know I'm beautiful, but I'm not that pretty. Just kidding. They'll be following me around.